everybody, I'm BC Begley, and these are the news headlines for September 17th of 2022. Putin warns of serious response to Ukraine terror attacks. Russian President Vladimir Putin pledged to stay the course in his campaign against Ukraine, warning if counterattacks continue, a more serious military response will be unleashed. Putin remains steadfast despite strong evidence that his forces incurred heavy losses in the Ukraine counteroffensive this month. AOC doubles down after Republicans transport migrants to Washington, D.C. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on Friday doubled down on her criticism of the transportation of migrants from the U.S.-Mexico border to various areas across the country. In a tweet, the New York Democrat called recent actions by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Texas Governor Greg Abbott appalling and likened them to trafficking. Without naming the two governors, Ocasio-Cortez also said the Republicans were guilty of, quote, crimes against humanity. Coastal flooding and damaging winds are imminent as storm bears down on Alaskan shore. Flooding and damaging winds are beginning to affect portions of Alaska's western coast early on Saturday, as a powerful storm threatens the region over the weekend. The remnants of Typhoon Merbok could potentially deliver the state's strongest storm in over a decade, forecasters have said. A massive solar flare knocked out radio in Africa and the Middle East on Friday. An active sunspot that is just about to exit the visible disk of the sun shot its parting flare at Earth, causing a radio blackout in Africa and the Middle East on Friday morning. The solar flare, classified as an M8 in the second most energetic category of flares, departed from the sun around 5:49 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Friday, disrupting shortwave radio communications in the sun-facing parts of the world. 5 soldiers killed by Israeli airstrikes, Syria says. 5 Syrian soldiers were killed in Israeli airstrikes that targeted Damascus's international airport and other areas near the capital, the Syrian Defense Ministry said on Saturday. The ministry said Israel had fired bursts of missiles from northeast of Lake Tiberias in Israel, targeting the airport and several security checkpoints south of the capital. China sanctions Raytheon, Boeing defense CEOs over Taiwan. China announced sanctions on Friday against the CEOs of American defense contractors Raytheon and Boeing Defense over a major U.S. arms sale to rival Taiwan. It wasn't immediately clear what impact they would have on the executives or their companies, but such sanctions are often mainly symbolic in nature. Man beaten with bat, critically hurt in New York City subway station, says the police. A man is clinging to life after a duo brutally beat him with a bat and a piece of wood in a Manhattan subway station this week. The unidentified victim got into an argument with the pair inside the 57th Street 7th Avenue station in Midtown around 4:30 a.m. on Thursday. The dispute turned violent when one of the men struck the victim in the head with a bat multiple times, cops said. The mother of 3 children who drowned off New York City is charged with first-degree murder. The 30-year-old mother, who allegedly drowned her 3 children off Coney Island in New York City, was arraigned on Friday morning on charges of first-degree murder, plus 3 counts each of second-degree murder and 3 counts of depraved indifference for human life. The NHC issues hurricane warning for Puerto Rico. Tropical storm Fiona maintains 60-mile-per-hour winds. A hurricane warning has been issued for Puerto Rico as Tropical Storm Fiona barrels westward, and the Caribbean islands feel the effects of the cyclone. As of Saturday, Fiona had maximum sustained winds of about 60 miles per hour, and showers and thunderstorms now occurring closer to the tropical storm's center of circulation. India's Modi, Turkey's Erdogan hold unexpected meeting at regional summit. Indian Prime Minister Modi met with the Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan on the sidelines of a regional summit on Friday in their first encounter in over 2 years since relations soured after Erdogan's comments on the disputed Muslim-majority region of Kashmir. Japan issues a special typhoon warning as unprecedented storm approaches. The Japan Meteorological Agency issued a special typhoon warning on Saturday for parts of Japan particularly the southernmost part of Japan's main islands, as the region braces for a powerful and potentially destructive super typhoon. Pound marks Black Wednesday with drop to lowest since 1985. The pound's tumble this year has taken another leg down, with the currency marking the 30th anniversary of Black Wednesday, with a drop through $1.14 for the first time since 1985. Black Wednesday on September 16, 1992, was the day the UK crashed out of the exchange rate mechanism, a system linking a number of European currencies. And Russia says Germany crossed a red line in arms supplies to Ukraine. Russia's ambassador to Germany, Sergei Nechayev, told state-owned media on Friday that Germany had crossed a red line by providing arms to Ukraine. Quote, supplying the Ukrainian regime with German weapons is not only against Russian servicemen, but also against the Donbass civilians. It is certainly the red line which the German authorities should not have crossed. And those are your news headlines for September 17th, 2022.